sun-drenched coastlines, turquoise waters, and ancient cities. The Mediterranean has it all, but it doesn't always have to be expensive. Across this region, there are towns and islands where you can enjoy the same history, beaches, and food for a fraction of the cost. In this video, we'll look at 12 of the cheapest Mediterranean destinations that prove you don't need a big budget to experience something unforgettable.
Number 12. Tunis is a beautiful city where the Mediterranean meets North Africa, full of color, history, and everyday life. The old streets are alive with markets and cafes, while the coast opens up to blue sea views and neighborhoods painted in white and blue. It's a place that feels both relaxed and vibrant, offering a mix of culture and seaside atmosphere without being overwhelming. Safety is solid, and visitors generally feel comfortable exploring both day and night. And the best part is that, as of 2025, the cost of living here remains some of the lowest in the Mediterranean. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center averages around $250 a month, while just outside the center it can drop to about $160. Utilities, including gas, water, and electricity, usually add another $35 to $40. Altogether, living in Tunis comfortably can come to $400 to $600 a month. Food and transport stay just as low. A local meal often costs $4, dinner for two about $20 to $25, and taxis rarely go over $3 even for longer rides. Public transport costs less than €1, making it easy to move around without planning ahead. That combination of beauty, safety, and low cost makes Tunis stand out. It's a Mediterranean capital where you can enjoy the food, the lifestyle, and the coastal setting, all while keeping your monthly budget surprisingly light. Number 11. Ksamil, Albania. Tucked away on the Albanian Riviera, Ksamil looks like the kind of place you'd expect to see on a postcard. White sand, bright turquoise water, and a few tiny islands sitting just offshore. It's small, quiet, and still has that raw edge that bigger Mediterranean resorts lost years ago. The town is safe and easygoing, and most people come here to slow down, swim, and enjoy long summer evenings by the sea. What makes it even more attractive is how little it costs to stay here. In 2025, a one-bedroom apartment can go for around $200 to $300 a month, and basic utilities usually sit under $70. That means you could cover housing and bills for less than what some travelers pay for a weekend hotel in Greece or Italy. Food is another win. Seafood pulled straight from the coast might cost you $10 to $12 for a full meal, while local cafes serve filling dishes for just a few dollars. Coffee is rarely more than €1, and you can enjoy it right on the beach without worrying about the bill. Getting around is easy too. Buses to nearby Serendai run for a couple of dollars, and even taxis stay inexpensive for short trips. Ksamil isn't flashy, but that's the charm. It gives you the turquoise waters and island views of a luxury hotspot, but at prices that make it feel almost unreal. Number 10. Budva, Montenegro. Budva is one of the gems of the Adriatic coast, often called the Montenegrin Riviera. The old town is wrapped in stone walls, filled with narrow streets, small squares, and a harbor that comes alive in summer. Just outside the walls, long stretches of beach and clear blue water give the city a perfect mix of history and seaside living. It's a safe and friendly place, and while it attracts more visitors each year, it still feels calmer and more affordable than nearby Croatia. Living in Budva doesn't require a big budget. In 2025, most people renting a small apartment near the old town pay around $400 a month. And if you head a little further out, it can drop closer to $300. Add in utilities, usually about $100 to $120 for gas, water, and electricity, and your housing is covered for far less than in most Mediterranean cities. Food and daily life are affordable too. A steak with fries in a casual spot might cost $7 to $10, and even a sit-down dinner for two with wine rarely passes $35. Fresh produce from the local markets keeps grocery bills low, and seafood straight from the Adriatic is often cheaper than in restaurants. Getting around is flexible. Many visitors and locals rent scooters or cars for short periods, and rates are low enough that it's easy to explore nearby beaches and coastal towns without spending much. That balance of affordability, history, and coast makes Budva stand out. It's a Mediterranean destination where you can enjoy old-world charm, long days by the water, and a lively atmosphere without overspending. Number 9. Valletta, Malta. Valletta is one of the smallest capitals in Europe, but it feels like walking through an open-air museum. The streets are lined with golden stone buildings, balconies painted in bright colors, and a harbor view that's hard to beat. Despite being full of history and UNESCO heritage sites, the city has a relaxed pace. It's also considered one of the safer spots in the Mediterranean, which makes wandering the narrow streets or sitting out late in a cafe easy and enjoyable. In 2025, the cost of living here is surprisingly manageable for a European capital. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city center averages about $900 a month, while moving just outside the walls drops that closer to $700. Utilities, including gas, water, and electricity, usually come to around $100 to $120. That means most people can live comfortably in Valletta on roughly $1,100 to $1,300 a month. Eating out doesn't have to be expensive. A casual lunch often costs around $12, while a mid-range dinner for two averages $55 to $60. Local buses cover the whole island for about $2 per ride, and many residents buy monthly passes to get around cheaply. What makes Valletta stand out is the balance. You get the feel of a historic Mediterranean capital with stunning sea views and a warm climate, without the extreme costs of other Western European cities. It's small, walkable, and beautiful, making it one of the best affordable entry points to life on the Mediterranean. Number 8. Alexandria, Egypt. Alexandria sits on the Mediterranean coast of Egypt, a city with thousands of years of history and a very different feel compared to the European side of the sea. The Corniche stretches along the waterfront with its cafes and sea views, while the streets mix old character with everyday life. It's a busy place, but welcoming, and most visitors find it safe when sticking to well-traveled areas. By 2025, Alexandria is still among the cheapest cities you'll find on the Mediterranean. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center rents for about $200 a month, and outside the center it can be closer to $150. Utilities, water, electricity, and gas usually add another $40 to $50. That means housing and essentials together often come to $350 to $500 a month in total. Day-to-day expenses stay just as low. Eating out is affordable, with local meals often just a few dollars, and even a full dinner rarely costing much by Mediterranean standards. Coffee and tea are part of the culture, and enjoying them by the sea is never expensive. Transport is flexible as well. And for those planning a longer stay, even buying a second-hand car is far cheaper than in Europe, with lower fuel prices keeping it manageable month to month. That balance of low living costs, coastal setting, and deep history makes Alexandria stand out. It offers the Mediterranean lifestyle in a way that feels real and accessible, without the high prices found elsewhere. Number 7. Izmir, Turkey. Izmir is a vibrant port city on Turkey's Aegean coast, mixing the feel of a modern seaside town with deep history. Wide boulevards, palm-lined promenades, and a busy waterfront make it one of the most open and relaxed cities in the region. It's a place where the energy of a large city meets the easy pace of Mediterranean life, and safety is generally good in the central and well-traveled areas. By 2025, Izmir continues to be an affordable option compared to other Mediterranean cities. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the center averages around $350 a month, while outside the center it's closer to $250. Utilities such as water, gas, and electricity usually at about $70 to $90. Altogether, living in Izmir often comes to $500 to $700 per month in total. Daily costs are manageable too. Local meals are inexpensive, and even eating out regularly won't stretch the budget. Coffee, snacks, and small errands are all a fraction of what you'd pay in Western Europe. Moving around is simple, with public transport covering the city cheaply, and longer stays make it possible to even rent or own a vehicle without heavy costs. Many people are surprised that a city this big and developed is still so affordable. Turkey has its challenges, but places like Izmir show that you can live by the sea, have the comfort of a modern city, and still keep your monthly costs low. Number 6. Tangier, Morocco. Tangier sits at the very edge of the Mediterranean, where the sea meets the Atlantic and continents almost touch. For centuries, it's been a meeting point of traders, artists, and wanderers, giving the city an atmosphere that feels both familiar and mysterious. The waterfront shifts from modern promenades to narrow streets that twist through the old quarters, and every corner seems to carry a story. It's busy, layered, and full of contrasts, a city that feels different from anywhere else along the coast. By 2025, Tangier remains one of the more affordable Mediterranean cities. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the center averages about $300 a month, while outside the center it's closer to $200. Utilities such as water, electricity, and gas usually add another $40 to $60. Altogether, living in Tangier often comes to around $400 to $600 a month in total. Day-to-day life in Tangier doesn't take much out of your pocket. You can sit down for a proper meal without worrying about the bill, and even eating out several times a week stays reasonable. Drinks and small bites in local cafes are part of the daily rhythm, and they're never expensive. Getting around doesn't add much either. Whether you rely on public transport or decide to have your own car, the costs are still low compared to most Mediterranean cities. For many, the surprise is how much lifestyle you get for the price. Tangier gives you sea views, history, and a strong cultural mix, but without the high costs that usually come with a coastal city. Number 5. Thessaloniki, Greece. Thessaloniki is Greece's second city, set right on the water with a long promenade that stretches for miles. It mixes old Byzantine walls and Ottoman history with a modern, youthful energy thanks to its large student population. The city is lively but laid back at the same time, and it's considered safe and easy to get around. With its food scene, festivals, and seaside views, it has a character that feels different from the islands but just as inviting. By 2025, Thessaloniki stays more affordable than many other parts of Greece. A one-bedroom apartment in the center usually rents for around $400 a month, while outside the center it's closer to $300. Utilities such as electricity, water, and heating average about $120 to $150. Altogether, a comfortable life here often comes to $700 to $900 a month in total. Instead of draining your budget on daily life, money here often goes further into experiences. Locals are known for spending evenings out, enjoying festivals, and living socially, and prices make it possible to join in without overspending. Entertainment, events, and even nightlife are much cheaper than in many other European cities of the same size. That balance of culture, history, and affordability is what makes Thessaloniki such an attractive place to settle. Number 4. Split, Croatia. Split is a city built around the remains of a Roman palace, with stone streets that open onto a busy harbor and long stretches of waterfront. It feels both ancient and modern at the same time, with lively squares, open-air cafes, and ferries heading out to the islands nearby. Life here moves at a steady pace, and it's considered safe and welcoming, with a balance of locals and visitors that keeps the city vibrant year-round. By 2025, the costs of living in Split are still manageable compared to many other parts of the Adriatic. A one-bedroom apartment in the center averages about $500 a month, while moving outside the main areas brings it closer to $400. Utilities, including water, electricity, and heating, usually add around $120 to $140. Altogether, living here comfortably often comes to $800 to $1,000 a month in total. Daily expenses don't run too high. Eating out can be simple and affordable, with casual meals priced at $10 to $12 and a full dinner for two usually around $40 to $50. Local produce, seafood, and baked goods keep grocery costs lower, and it's easy to enjoy good food without stretching your budget. Entertainment, outdoor activities, and social life are also cheaper than in more tourist-driven cities like Dubrovnik. Split offers a mix of history, coastal living, and affordability that's hard to find elsewhere on the Adriatic. It's a place where you can live close to the sea, enjoy an active lifestyle, and still keep monthly costs at a reasonable level. Number 3. The Valencian Community, Spain. The Valencian community stretches along Spain's eastern coast, facing the Mediterranean. It includes well-known cities like Valencia, Alicante, and Castellón, along with smaller seaside towns and inland villages. The region has a mix of long, sandy beaches, historic old towns, and modern urban areas, all tied together by a relaxed Mediterranean lifestyle. Safety is generally good, especially in the coastal cities where most people choose to stay. By 2025, the cost of living across this region doesn't vary much from one city to another. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the center of a city like Valencia or Alicante is usually around $700 a month, while in smaller towns or just outside the center, it drops closer to $550. Utilities such as water, electricity, and heating add another $120 to $140. Altogether, living here comfortably often comes to $1,000 to $1,200 a month in total. Daily life remains affordable by Western European standards. A set lunch menu is usually $12 to $15, while dinner for two at a mid-range restaurant stays under $50 almost anywhere in the region. Public transport is reliable and cheap, and many people also get around by bike thanks to the flat coastal terrain. Entertainment, sports, and cultural events are priced reasonably, and much of the lifestyle here revolves around being outdoors, which doesn't cost anything at all. The Valencian community gives you the climate, food, and coastal life Spain is known for, but without the extremes of price found in its most tourist-heavy areas. Whether in the main cities or smaller towns, the overall costs stay within a fairly narrow and manageable range. Number 2. Naples, Italy. Naples is one of Europe's oldest coastal cities, sitting by the Bay of Naples with Vesuvius rising in the background. Its streets pulse with energy from lively markets to dramatic sea views to centuries-old architecture. It's bold, raw, and deeply real, not polished, but unforgettable. By 2025, Naples stands out in Italy as a place where you get full city life without the high prices. The monthly cost of living, including rent, comes in at $1,590. That includes rent and utilities at about $800 per month, food at $494, and transport at $140. One-bedroom apartments in the city center rent at $960 per month, while just outside the center, they're about $660. Everyday spending in Naples doesn't spiral out of control. Eating out regularly is possible without overspending, and the variety ranges from quick slices of pizza to full dinners that still feel affordable compared to other Italian cities. Groceries for a family of 4 usually run about $120 to $140 per week, covering fresh produce, pasta, bread, and household basics. Even enjoying the city itself, walking the waterfront, exploring historic neighborhoods, or joining in community events doesn't cost much, which keeps the lifestyle accessible on almost any budget. Naples doesn't try to be elegant. It's alive, chaotic, and magnetic, but it gives you unbeatable flavor, culture, and real Mediterranean energy at a price most big cities no longer offer. Number 1. Limassol, Cyprus. Limassol stretches along the southern coast of Cyprus, with palm-lined promenades, a modern marina, and sandy beaches that run for miles. It's a city that combines laid-back Mediterranean life with a touch of cosmopolitan style. Old neighborhoods sit beside new high-rises, and the mix of tavernas, cafes, and seaside views makes it feel both relaxed and international. By 2025, Limassol is one of the more expensive places in Cyprus, but compared to many other parts of the Mediterranean, it still comes in at a lower cost. Renting a one-bedroom apartment in the center is about $1,100 per month, while outside the center it's closer to $850. Utilities, including water, electricity, and internet, average $160 to $180. Altogether, the monthly cost of living usually lands between $1,400 and $1,600 depending on location and lifestyle. Day-to-day life feels comfortable without being overpriced. A casual meal costs $12 to $15, while dinner for 2 with drinks is usually $60 to $70. Groceries for a family of 4 typically run $150 to $170 per week, covering fresh produce, meat, dairy, and household basics. Entertainment and leisure lean affordable as well, especially with beaches and outdoor life being such a big part of the culture. Limassol may not be the cheapest city on this list, but it captures the best of the Mediterranean lifestyle while keeping costs below many of Europe's famous coastal hubs. It's the kind of place where people move not just to save money, but to live well by the sea.